Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, starting up with the 144,000, which should be the ruling governing body in the kingdom of heaven. Right? And you also have the large multitude of believers, which will include a lot of the 1/3, which will be women, and children that be saved. 2/3 of our people here in America will be destroyed. Right? Of you 12 tribes, you Israelites. Right? And you also have the rebels that are scattered abroad that will be destroyed. And you have the elect that are scattered abroad in different countries that will be saved. Right? Of who the world willingly and ignorantly calls black, Hispanic, Native American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican, Haitian, Guatemala, and Panamanians. Right? You are the Israelites, contrary to what they want to believe. Right? I'm your brother YASHAMIAHLA. Come back at y'all with a quick lesson. As y'all can see on the screen, I have the word dawn pulled up, which, you know, this is inspired by me pretty much driving yesterday, you know, in the morning on the way to the plantation. And, you know, I had seen this on the side of a semi truck. And, you know, it just made me think of, oh, let me do a lesson, because I know what the word dawn means, right? But, you know, I was like, let me look it up and do a lesson on it, you know, because as y'all can see, the word dawn, it means daybreak, break of day, crack of dawn, sunrise. So basically, it's when it's early in the morning, the day starting. And, you know, I thought about that in a spiritual way because, you know, let's get it. We know that this world is ending, which this world is ruled by the wicked. And I went straight to it. And call Allah, YASHAMIAHLA. That's the second Ezra 6 in verse 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, or Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You see? So like I said, you know, you know, this world is ending, but when this world fully ends, when Yahushua returns, World War III pops off fully, right, our world's going to be beginning. The elect's going to get beamed up, right, this world's going to get destroyed, you know, then the kingdom is going to pretty much, you know, start, you know, and that's why I looked at it in a spiritual way, because, you know, that time is very, very close, very close. Prophecies are popping off more than ever. Right, the days are speeding up rapidly. Right, you know, you wake up one day and next thing you know, it's been already 6-7 days. I'm like, damn, I thought it was just Tuesday. Then it's next Tuesday or Monday again. I'm like, damn. You know, so the Lord is gonna make good on His word. You know, as far as, you know, bringing us the kingdom, right? And the Lord's not slack concerning His promise. Let me get this in the book of Daniel real quick. Daniel 7. Right, in 18, it says, but the saints, which are the Israelites of the Most High, shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. You see? So that time is going to come. Right, when Yahushua returns with the angels, you know, the multitude of angels, and World War III is happening, they get beamed up. And then, you know, when they come back down from those chariots, so, hey, the men of the Lord, they're going to have spiritual power. And they're going to, you know, they're going to become hunters. Right? As it says in the book of Jeremiah 16 and 16. Matter of fact, let me get it. Right? And once that happens, hey, we're going to, you know, we're going to get a lot of these heathen, you know, that's still left. It's going to be mainly the elites of Esau that's going to be left. They're going to be the first fruits of slavery. Right? And this kingdom is going to be forever, man. This ain't going to be 500 years, you know, 200 years, 250 years like the average kingdom lasts in this first earth age. No, man. You know, we the only people that's going to have a kingdom that ain't going to ever end. How great is that? You know? And the Lord is fair. Right? He'll let you heathens rule over us for years. But your kingdoms didn't last forever. Right? What was I gonna get? Jeremiah 16 and 16. If I'm not mistaken, it was. Yep. It says, behold, I will send for many fishers, said the Lord. And that's what we're doing now. We're prophesying. We're fishing for the elect. And they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters. Hunters do what? They stalk out and kill their prey. Right? And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. Because, like I said, which what the scripture said, these world leaders, these Edomite elites, and you might have other nations that are royalty that have bunkers and stuff too. Hey, Lord, will we part of those that elect number? We're gonna go get them out the holes of the rocks, and they're gonna serve us for 1,000 years, man. In our kingdom. It's after this American gets destroyed, we get beaten up and we come back down. Which I don't know how long that's gonna be and how long that's gonna take as far as after the destruction is, but the scriptures do say America's gonna be destroyed in 1 hour. But as far as after that, I don't have that understanding. The apostles and elders probably have that, but I'm just I don't have that understanding. And I'm not saying that in a small way. I don't know that answer. But yeah, man. This world don't feel the same. Right, it's not enjoyable, as it once was to these Edomites and these heathen, which it's never been enjoyable for us. We've always been in captivity, even before we knew, we was Israelites. This has always been a place of our, punishment, right? This is modern day Egypt, right? The place of bondage, like the scripture said in Exodus 20 verse 2, right? We've always been held back here. We're coming into a kingdom where we ain't gonna be held back no more from anything. We're gonna be totally righteous. We're gonna have everything we ever wanted and more. And we can't even fathom that in this carnal mind that we have now, right? You have jakes that's on this side that's so-called successful, but they sold the fuck out. And you have some jakes that are doing pretty good that's not celebrities and stuff, but best believe they still deal with racism. They still under the curses. It don't matter. But all that's gonna be gone. Ain't no Edomite gonna be able to say shit to you in the kingdom. Nigga, you gonna be able to take the head off instantly without no Edomite consequences. You ain't gonna deal with that. And the scriptures also say let me see, it's in Ecclesiastes. Better is the end. Let me see. I knew it was Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. I knew it was. But let me read it. 7 and 8, it says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. You see that? And why does it say that? Because Solomon, if I'm not mistaken, he's the one who wrote Ecclesiastes. So even though Solomon was the wisest man to walk the earth, outside of YAHSHAWAR, which really, if you have the understanding, if you can receive it, Solomon was YAHSHAWAR. But like when when Solomon was actually Solomon, he was the wisest man at that time on the earth. He had everything. The Lord gave him everything, riches. Hey. And then Solomon prayed for wisdom in the book of 1 Kings. But the Lord gave him, carnal riches, physical riches. He had servants. Yes, this is going to happen in the kingdom. Servants go back to the Bible, man. It's not just, oh, you evil because you got somebody serving you. No, man, that's not evil. It's really righteous. But it depends on how you treat them. Solomon knew, it was the end of, it was better for this first earth age to end because he knew that it wasn't going to last forever, right? Because if you read during Solomon's time, it was 40 years of peace. Well, Israel was good, right? So that was like a prelude to the kingdom of how, Israel is going to be in the future, but that's going to be forever this time, right? It's going to be forever. But like I said, Solomon knew that it wasn't going to be forever. He knew that, right? He knew that, in that body that he was in, he wasn't going to, be in that physical body. Because, King Solomon, he died. You know, he didn't live forever, but in the kingdom, he is going to live forever. Right? And all Israel is going to live forever in the kingdom. You know? And ain't nobody going to ever be able to come against you. Ain't nobody, you ain't going to be tempted, persuaded. Because, hey, we going to have new bodies. We ain't going to go off ever again. Right? We all know King Solomon went off. That ain't going to happen. So that's what since Solomon knew all of that, that's why he said, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. Because, you know, Solomon didn't want to be, you know, in that current body forever, even though he had, you know, wisdom. He didn't want to be in that body. Right? Let me get this real quick. Amos, right? 9 and verse 8, if I'm not mistaken. No, not 9 and verse 8. 9 and verse 11, it says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David, which is the house, right, that has fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build as in the days of old." Hey, King David and his men were mighty men back in the day. And the Lord is really doing that now. Right? A lot of men, you know, that's teaching, you know, I believe, you know, particularly in GMS, you know, and I'm not saying you don't have elect men in every camp. And I'm not saying every man in GMS is a part of elect. I can't say that, you know. Because you got agents amongst every camp. You know, you got brothers that ain't right. Lord willing, you know, I'm not one of them. And Lord willing, you know, all the brothers is, you know, not like that at all, you know. But it says that they may possess the remnant. When you possess something, you own it. You have it in your control. The remnant of Edom and all the heathen, which are called by my name, said the Lord that doeth this. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes of him that soweth the seed. And the mountain shall drop sweet wine, and the hills shall melt. You see? Right? So, you know, we're going to own these heathen, man. We're going to have them in captivity. Literally, literal slavery. Right? They're going to be in chains. They're going to build up our kingdom. Right? That's why every person ain't going to be destroyed, but most people will be destroyed when World War III happens. You know, you got to have somebody left to build it up. You know? But this is all getting ready to happen, man. So, our kingdom is rising. So, like I said, when I seen that on the truck, I thought about it in a spiritual way. You know, when we come into this truth, our mind is changed. So, we don't just look at stuff that we see on a day-to-day basis and be like, oh, you know, that's it. You know, that's just the company, the name of the company. Probably the name of the company or the truck or whatever it was. But I looked at it in a spiritual way. Right? And it's crazy because, like I said, I was going into work early in the morning. So, it was pretty much about to be done. So, you know, it's funny. But, yeah, man, you know, we about to come into rulership. And ain't nobody gonna be able to stop what's coming, man. You know, this place is going, chaos is about to break out. Jacob's trouble is about to pop off. And this man's gonna bring in the MOTB. Hey, let it pop off. Let it happen. All right? The Saints. Let me see. That's not the one I want. Slovakia. So let me get this to end it off. I pretty much read the same thing. This is Revelation 13 and 10. It says, "And he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword." Here is the patience and faith of the saints. You see that? So, hey man, stay strong, brothers. Keep the faith. You know, we almost about here, man. Hey, our kingdom is coming, and dawn's about to break. So, with that, hope this video is edifying to the elect. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, AHSHAWAR, double honors to the elders and apostles, grand millstone. Until next time, I want to say, Bye, Shalom.